Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TBN Week 12 recap presented by BGM and myself. That being said, let's get right into it. Some top headlines. It was a huge rivalry week, heartbreaks and miracles across the entire league. And going forward from here on out, it's only rivals, it's only in division play. No team has clinched a spot in the playoffs. This week looks like it's going to be make or break for the remaining teams. It's going to be absolute chaos for Thanksgiving week. It's unbelievable. The ESPN number one curse season record falls to 4-8, which is really great. But does Team Oily Enjoy deserve a spot in the playoffs? His team has been playing absolutely on fire and had one of the greatest weeks I've ever seen. Um, in reality, no, he does not deserve a playoff spot, but man, that would be fucking electric if he did. First matchup is my own, and this one really fucking sucked. It hurt a lot. Krana kicks my ass again. Um, it was Hunter Henry Appreciation Day, apparently, for the Patriots. It happened again where I had someone on my bench that I probably should have started, and I didn't. First, it was Roma Dunze. This week, it was John Mechie who had 20 points on my bench, and that would have given me the win, even if he started his best available team with his bench included. It hurts, but I don't want to bitch about my fucking struggles. My team just didn't fucking show up. Krana's team, they did as well. It was a pretty shit matchup in reality. Both teams kind of didn't really score very well. I mean, it's like just average scores here. Krana's team just walked in and they wanted it more. He wants the fucking bye. This team is hungry to get the playoffs after the disrespect coming into the year, and then my team just sucks. So Keaton versus Paul. Um, Nothing really to really write home about besides that Paul just put belt to ass. Keaton's eliminated. This team is it's over. It's cooked. The only thing that really is enjoyable to look at is that you have Justin Jefferson. He's been playing ass. Travis Etienne's fine. Javonte, I miss you. I wish you were here. But Jalen Hurts, I mean, yeah, but this team is over. Keaton doesn't care anymore. This team doesn't care anymore. And then Paul, this was a much needed win. This was a huge win for Paul. It gets him back to 500 after a struggle in the first part of the year and just kind of throughout the entire year. He traded for Stafford, and that's been panning out great. Derrick Henry has been great. A.J. Brown, he just traded for, great. I mean, he finally got the targets. Kittle has been outstanding. Goff has been serviceable. Olave has been pretty good. His bench is really good too. Like this team can make the playoffs if some luck happens to find this team's way. I really like what Paul is trying to do. He's trying to make a name for himself, but he's got a tough matchup. I'll get into that later in the video. But Paul, keep it up, Keaton. Just not your year. The playoffs will miss you as well. Geet versus Kyan. This fucking matchup was literally historic as fuck. This guy, Kyan, Oily Enjoy, was dead and out for the count from weeks 3 through 10, basically. He's just, it's unbelievable. Or weeks, yeah, whatever. It's unbelievable what this team has accomplished over the last 2 weeks. This is probably upset of the year. This is probably blowout of the year. He won by 99.9 points. After um Geet just basically had 99 points with 3 players last week. Dak amazing. Brown finally relevant. Walker finally relevant. Smith relevant. Myers. Everybody scored more than 10 points. Every single one. Even the tight end, he got a touchdown. That was unbelievable. Theo Johnson, shout out. Michael Wilson has undoubtedly been one of the best waiver pickups of the year so far. It's just a shame that he's playing on a team that's already eliminated. Emmanuel Wilson finds a role with Jacobs going out. I mean, this kind team is unbelievable. And then Geet, just a sour taste in your mouth. You really wanted to get this win. This was a win for you to really lock up the division, and now the doors has opened. I still think Geet, you'll get the division. I still think you're in the playoffs firmly. This team is still good. Just a really dud week, as with a lot of the other contenders. Eric taking on Dylan. Gross. This matchup was pretty fucking gross to follow along. Everybody knew that Dylan was gonna win right from the jump. Drake May, bad week. Henderson, fall back to earth. Judkins, really good. Flowers, average. Leggett, Merry Christmas, 5 points. Brock Bowers, Merry Christmas. Rasheed Rice, absolute animal. Loveland, animal. Young, dog shit. I mean, it was just a dog shit performance. 120 points. I mean, that's good. It's a good score. I'm not going to act like that's not, but it's just Merry fucking Christmas on the other side. Eric's team didn't even show up besides Amon Ra, and it's disgusting. When you have Jaden Higgins and Trey Tucker as your starter, and then Kate Nod, and obviously I know Laporta is out for Eric, but this team's eliminated. He doesn't care. He doesn't talk. He doesn't do shit anymore for this league. Um, it's just disgraceful what I'm really looking at here. But Dylan, this is a good win for you. You go to 7-5. You're not out of the division hunt yet, and it's good because you're firmly in the playoffs now. This is exactly what I've been trying and wanting for the last 2 years. This guy needed some glory. It just feels good to look at this honestly, and I'm glad for you, Dylan and Eric. I'm sorry. Ashton taking on Berg, just another fucking kick in the ass, another blowout. This ends Bergen's season. The reigning champ will be dethroned. It's a tough sight for Berg. He had a promising year. I thought this dude was gonna make some noise, and he did. He just got really unfortunate with injury. This team would have theoretically have Emeka, Neighbors, and Drake London all healthy. If those three guys are in your lineup, it doesn't fucking matter who else you have on this roster. On top of McBride, those four guys, it would have been special, it would have been great, but it just didn't happen. The fantasy gods, they give and they take, and it took away from you, Bergen, and I'm very sorry. Ashton, on the other hand, this team's great. I love everything that goes on. A lot of booms and a lot of busts per se. McCaffrey has been undoubtedly the most valuable fantasy asset this year. Pickens, who no one would have thought Pickens was going to be. Everyone, okay, I guess people would say that Pickens was going to be at absolute worst a receiver too, but this dude is the overall receiver too. That's unbelievable. CeeDee Lamb does a job. Wandale Robinson out of fucking nowhere. Shout out Nebraska and Kentucky legend. Absolutely goes off, and it doesn't even matter. He just belt the fucking ass to Bergen. And this was a big win for Ashton because it gets him also back to 500. And I kept reiterating that this team is a playoff team. It's just one big uphill battle going forward. It's going to be a dogfight with him to see if he can squeak in. Um, but I have hope that he can get it done. It's just going to take some fucking miracles. It's going to take a lot of luck. As I said, the fantasy gods will give and they take. We'll see what happens. Ashton, I know you got to feel good about it just to get back to 500 after the start of the year. Bergen, down goes the champ. Who's taking on Huts? This is no joke. The matchup of the fucking year, matchup of the century, matchup of the decade, matchup of everything that is good with manhood. Um, Yeah, I kept following this matchup from right from the start on Sunday, right at noon, and it was 50-50. It was dead even, and it stayed that way throughout the entire, I don't know, 8 hour, 10 hours basically on Sunday. And then it came down to the Monday night game. Um, I'll go through some of the roster. JSN had 37 points, but it doesn't matter when Jameer Gibbs has 55 points. Both were playing at the exact same time, the noon slate, and at one point they both had the exact same score, 37.1. And then the Lions game went into overtime, and Jameer Gibbs just fucking took over. He just absolutely dominated for the rest of that game. Without both of those scores, it still would have been a high scoring affair. Ashton Genty, 24, basically 25 points. Pittman, basically 14. Juwan Jennings, 15 on Monday night. Mooney, 16. Jacoby Brissett has been a great trade piece with basically 20 points. Mahomes, basically 17 points. Devontae, 23 points. I mean, it's just both of these teams had a lot of firepower, and it was just great to watch. But my one thing that I am concerned about for Hoos is he's going to need Lamar Jackson. He really does. I mean, if you're looking at this, you really think, maybe he doesn't, but you're gonna need Lamar Jackson for this playoff push, and then Hutz, you're gonna need your other running backs to really step up and your flexes to really come alive here. But this matchup was absolutely unbelievable. It kept swinging like a pendulum, back and forth. One player on one team would score a touchdown, another player would score another touchdown for the other team. It was just unbelievable to watch. And the Monday night game really sealed it. Brock Purdy was throwing like fucking Greg out there, and it costed Hutz a win. If Brock Purdy does not throw 3 interceptions, Hutz will be the victor here. But like I said, it gives and it takes. Congrats to you, Hoos. Hutz, I'm dearly sorry. Here are the league standings. Like I said, no one has clinched a playoff spot, but 4 teams have been eliminated from playoff contention. 3 all coming from this end last result this week. Berg, Eric, and Keaton, I'm sorry, your seasons are done. You will not be playing for money. But I'm sure you guys probably had that going for you a couple weeks ago. But yeah, the league standings, it's everyone's right there. 4 teams are 8-4. 2 teams are 7-5. 2 teams are 6-6. It's a fucking neck and neck battle. Everyone can see this though. I mean, this is absolute cinema. I love everything I'm looking at. Excuse me. I decided to put the projected playoff brackets for on. Excuse me, both sides. As it stands right now, I'm still at 1. Who's at 2? Geet at 3. Cran at 4, Hutz at 5, Erks at 6, and then going down into the constellation side, Ashton at 7, Paul at 8, Eric at 9, Berg at 10, Keaton at 11, and then Kyan at 12. Expect this to change. Expect this to change in a drastic way too. We might have some crazy shit coming your way next week, and I cannot wait to follow along and obviously play in it. This is how ESPN sees it. Nothing really changed. I'm at 1, Geet at 2, Hoos at 3, he moves up. Crane at 4, he also moves up. Hutz at 5, Erks at 6, Ashton at 7, Paul at 8, Eric at 9, Berg at 10, Kyan moves up to 11, and then Keaton at 12. It's pretty fair, I would say. These are my rankings. This is how I see it. I think Hoos is the number 1. Krenna is the number 2 because he's beat me twice. I'm at 3. Geet at 4 after that disheartening performance last week. Hut's also at 5, but I think he can be realistically 2 through 4. Erk's at 6 just because he's a playoff team. Ashton and Paul, they're pretty much interchangeable at 7 and 8, but I favor Ashton. Berg at 9, Eric at 10, Kyan at 11, and then Keaton at 12. this is how I really think I see it. This is how I think the rosters play out right now. Um, Basically, 1 through 4 are kind of all interchangeable because we're all 8 and 4. 5 and 6 are also interchangeable. Hudson, Erks, they're kind of flip flopping. Um, I mean, this is going to be a fucking fun week, and uh, for that matter, matchups to highlight: myself taking on Erks, and then Ashton versus Hoos. But in reality, all of them are must watch. But every team wants to win. Every team has the mentality of the must win, and I think it's all fair to say that everybody needs that for the league. Um, I will say, does Krana stay hot and earn the bye? If I lose one game and he wins out, he gets the bye. He will firmly be in the bye. Um, and after the disrespect from the start of the year, I think this dude kind of earns it. I think it would be fucking awesome if he did. And then can kind of continue his winning ways with the past 2 weeks and break hearts. Can he continue to knock people off and take people out? I mean, upset of the fucking year. He won by 99.9 points. I mean, can he do it again? Who fucking knows? I love what he's got going on. The future of Oily Enjoy and Kine in this league looks absolutely outstanding. And then I kept this the same as last week. What teams clinch a playoff berth after this week? I would say 4 teams realistically will clinch this week. It was a hell of a week. I loved recapping this. I loved following along. I know everybody else in the league loved it, except the teams that are eliminated and on the verge of elimination. But gentlemen and ladies, even though there's not, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did making it. And good night, everyone.